Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Vanessa and you are watching the Exploring Oracle, or the Exploracle for short. So today I'll be taking a look at this indie deck, the This Might Hurt Tarot deck by Isabella Rothman. So this is what the box looks like. There is some beautiful gold foiling across the sides and the top of the box. And it does have the symbols of the elements of the minor arcana. So this Mitre Tarot is a modern deck in the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition, keeping time-honored symbolism and imagery, but losing the medieval context. This deck is designed to be both easy to read and highly relatable. Clothing and scenery are modernized, diversity is embraced, and queerness is lovingly acknowledged. So created by Isabella Rothman, colored by Addison Duke. So it comes in this magnetic box. This is what the sides look like. The box feels like a little bit like a rose petal, like a rose petal finish, as well as the guidebook. So it comes with this rather chunky guidebook. So let's take a look. There's no table of contents, but you have a little bit of history, a reading, how to do readings, some spreads. And then you have the language of tarot, and then you have the majors. So it tells you a little bit about the majors and the minors, the suits, what they stand for, the elements that they are associated with, the numbered and the court cards. So there's also the numerology, the court cards, meanings of the courts, the reverse card meanings, and then you go into the card descriptions where you have an image of the card, not in color, but it's fine. And then you have a full page of text for the meanings of the cards. It goes all the way to the majors, to the minors. And there's some, this guidebook has like a phrase, like Four of Swords, take a damn break. So it's very modern, very straight to the point. And would really be good, I think, would be a really good deck for beginners. I struggle to recommend indie decks for beginners, but because it can be a bit pricey, you know, buying indie decks. But I do know that this deck is coming out mass market, so it would be a good idea to probably wait for that if the cost of an indie deck is a little bit restrictive. I know that even I struggle at times to purchase indie decks, but I do want to support independent deck creators as much as I can. But as much as possible, but I also love when indie decks go mass market, because it becomes a lot more accessible to others. And I do have some decks that previously were indie, but I purchased them as mass market decks, which is very much appreciated. Okay, so let me just zoom. Oh, sorry. I don't know where my head is at today. But let's take a look at the cards. So the cardstock is a very nice matte. It is a little bit thick, but still flexible enough to be shuffled. These are the card backs, and they are reversible. Okay, so beautiful matte cardstock. It also has this beautiful gilding, rainbow holographic gilding. I think there is an option for you to choose whether you would get this darker gilding, or I think it was silver. I do prefer this one. And let's zoom in and take a closer look at the cards. So as we read in the box, it is very modern. The art is modern, diverse. There's really, it gives off the energy. It is very much patterned against the RWS. It gives off that energy. It uses more or less the same symbolism, but it isn't done in that same style. So I do feel it's a little bit more relatable. Like the Chariot, look at this. And card. I think this deck was compared to the Modern Witch Tarot a lot. I did also have that deck. However, I rehomed it because of the cardstock. I don't really think I'm a cardstock snob, but I do riffle shuffle all of my decks, and if it becomes, and it's a big part of my practice, so if it's very difficult to shuffle, it doesn't usually call to me, and then I end up rehoming it because I just don't want it to be in storage, not being used. There is nudity in this deck, for those who are sensitive to that. I really love the world card. If it's a full-figured woman. I don't know, as a full-figured woman myself, I just love seeing that kind of body diversity index. It's not something that I explicitly look for, but I do like it when it's there. Five of Wands. The wand suit also has the backgrounds used very much fiery energy, and I don't recall if that's how it is throughout the rest of the deck, but let's see. And the King. Moving on to the suit of cups, which is associated with the element of water. The backgrounds are more blues and blue-greens. So yeah, so I think that's a theme depending on the suit. The backgrounds would also more or less show the elemental association. Eight of Cups. Queen. And the King. Moving on to the sword suit. Oh, the sword suit has a green background, which I would associate more with pentacles, I would think. But let's see later. But the sword suit is typically associated with the element of air. She has a knife beside her. Seven of Swords. The 8. I love this Queen of Swords. And the King. Moving on to the Pentacles suit. It also looks a bit yellow-green. I think I would have preferred if the sword suit, I don't know, was maybe purple. But I mean, it's alright. Seven. The colors are also a little bit muted. So they're not, I mean, it's colorful but not bright and saturated. I don't know if I'm, but I think the camera is picking up the color that I mean. It's not as light as, let's say, the Luna Sol Tarot, but it's definitely not as bright as the Modern Witch, if you have that deck. And the King. Always, I zoomed out, and let's see how this deck shuffles, and then we will choose a card to read so that you have a sense of what the guidebook reads like. Okay, so it does shuffle quite well. Because of the thicker cardstock, you do have to exert a little bit more force, but it's also a very premium feeling. And I think that's what people like about indie card decks. Now, I did mention that this is coming out mass market. I'm not sure what the cardstock would be like, but yeah, this cardstock I don't have any issues with. It also shuffles well. It side shuffles, overhand shuffles. I'm not sure what to call this kind of shuffling. And yeah, let's just read for the Nine of Swords. Okay, so in the guidebook, it says here, Nine of Swords, the Nightmare card. 9 swords surround the head of a woman who is overcome with mental anguish. Swords represent thoughts, so here we have a glyph for overthinking. The 9 of Swords rules anxiety, depression, chronic stress, insomnia, night terrors, and paranoia. When the 9 of Swords comes up, for me, I always take it up to mean the same thing. It's in your head, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. Crises of mental health and chronic stress are serious health problems that need to be dealt with. Your mental torment may be internal or stem from an external source such as trauma or a person intentionally gaslighting you. Regardless of the problem, your emotional prison is not helping. What you need to do now is break the anxiety loop. The 8 of Swords teaches us that we are not as powerless as we feel. When the 9 of Swords comes, remember coping mechanisms that have worked for you in the past. Turn the swords away from yourself. I suggest reaching out for help from family, friends, community, or a mental health professional. Talking about what is going on will be the best way to get out of your own head. So yeah, it's very straight to the point. It's, it's direct, and it's a modern deck with modern art, depictions, but still maintain the same structure and symbology of the original RWS. And I think it's really well done. The guidebook is also really well done. It's a deck that I think I should work with more, because I do feel like I have been neglecting it. Now, for a time, when I also had the Modern Witch, I had a tendency to use that more because I like the colors more because they were brighter, and yeah, but again, because of the cardstock, I had to rehome it. But this one feels really good in the hand, and yeah, I like the King of Cups when it's like, shows an older individual. Just feels like a very a man full of wise words, and and has lived his life and has a lot of stories to tell you. And yeah, it feels, I don't know, I like age diversity index. I think it's because I'm not, I'm already in my well, I won't say my age, but I'm not a young girl, and yeah, I do tend to look for older figures in the court cards, especially kings and queens. If they do look younger than me, I don't feel like I connect with them as much as I would if it was an older, wiser looking individual. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but anyway, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to click on the like button. I post videos at least once a week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!